Hello everyone, welcome to Buddy's video. Buddy was rescued in 2022, and in this video I'm going to go over the steps we took to get Buddy adopted because he did come to us with a lot of medical and behavioral issues. Nothing super complex on the behavioral issues, but it was severe enough that we had to put attention towards the behavioral issues prior to adoption, and I'm going to go more into detail in this video. So the first thing on our list that we address is the medical needs of our rescue dogs, and Buddy came to us with quite a few medical needs. He had infected eyes, dry eye, untreated dry eye. He could not see. He was walking with an injury. So we immediately took him in to our vet, and it was determined that this injury was very old. He has been living with this for some time, so there was really nothing we could do but put him on pain management, medications for his eyes, the dry eye treatment, and then from there we kind of let him rest while we have him scheduled for orthopedic surgery, where they would put a steel plate in his leg so it would straighten out the leg more so he wasn't walking on his heel. So he did have a missing Achilles heel, and it was determined that this happened some time ago. So while he was in foster care, we did have a list of things we wanted to address as far as behaviorally, because he was displaying some growly, snappy behavior. So Buddy was with us for a few months in a temporary foster home, and we started to document all of the behaviors we were seeing while we were addressing his medical needs. And at the very beginning, we noticed right away several behaviors that he was displaying, and I've noted them down here on this checklist, and this is going to help you understand on how we target each of these issues prior to adoption. In Buddy's case, we did actually have an applicant come forward interested in Buddy, and we had him meet Buddy, and it was a husband and wife, and they discussed potentially adopting him, but they really were unsure of all of the behavioral issues being displayed. So we discussed that they would foster Buddy just like one of our fosters, and we would support them just like we would support our fosters in rehabilitating the dog's behavioral needs. And while Buddy was with them, he would also get his medical needs addressed at the same time. So on our list, you can see that Buddy was snappy in several situations. So on the list, you'll see snappy around other dogs. I'm going to scratch that right off the list right now because he was placed in a home without other dogs, and that just took care of that problem right away. And I'm going to move right into him being snappy when giving him eye drops, because he would try to bite anyone who tried to handle his head to give the eye drops, and that happens a lot with these types of dogs. Many pet owners experience the same thing. So we wanted to make sure that they were able to give the eye drops to Buddy, because obviously he needs them or he's going to be in pain without the medications. So what we did is we gave them some solutions on how to give the medications without getting bitten. And one of those solutions is we presented them with a grooming table. And we love grooming tables because it gives better control of the dog, having them elevated off the ground, and you're able to do things more safely. So we instructed the foster to present Buddy with just high-end food just to get used to the table at first, and then from there we showed them how to administer the eye drops without getting bitten, and we also had them present treats after they gave the eye medications, because he would be rewarded for doing such a good job, and it was conditioning him to having medications put in his eyes. So after months of doing the conditioning work, the foster is now able to give Buddy eye medications without any negative response from Buddy. He no longer snaps or shows any adverse reaction to the process. He can even give medications while sitting on his lap without any problems. So Buddy has been conditioned, and we're very happy to say we can check this problem off our list. So now that the eye drop issue was resolved, we're going to look at the separation anxiety, and I'm going to combine that with some of the other fearful behaviors that Buddy was displaying. He would kind of growl if you picked him up, but it was nothing that it was severe. And in cases we've seen, we did place him on a medication, a pharmaceutical specifically designed to target some of this fearful behavior and the separation anxiety at the same time. And we're happy to say we've seen a great improvement in behavior on the medications. And again, we always say go to a doctor or a behaviorist when treating your dog with medications. We are not doctors, so we're just kind of providing you with some of the details of what we did with Buddy. And in his case, it made a really good improvement in behavior. So with the separation anxiety now treated, the snappy around other dogs scratched off the list, the eye drops treated, we're going to go right into snappy when being moved while resting. And you've probably heard let sleeping dogs lie. Well, in this case, that was Buddy's situation. If he was moved off his bed while resting, he would growl or snap. And this really freaked out the potential adopters. So we did give them management techniques to avoid being snapped at. If you had to touch him while he was resting, you could use a blanket, you could do some training by calling his name to get him off of the bed. So we gave them training techniques to avoid that behavior, and we also provided them with strict details to avoid any type of biting. And over time, we're going to see how that behavior diminishes. At this point, again, it's still new into the adoption, so we can't say, but that behavior was addressed, and we're happy to say we're going to check that off of our list. So the last thing on our checklist is addressing Buddy's aggressive behavior when being groomed. And Buddy would really try to bite down hard if he could catch you during the grooming process. He hates it. Most likely a lot of these types of dogs aren't socialized to being groomed, and I'm sure many people have seen this. A lot of dogs are more reactive during the process, but what happens is a lot of times groomers will not deal with an aggressive dog during the grooming process. So our solution is to provide adopters with grooming support for dogs who cannot go to regular salons. And what happens at that time in a lot of the cases is that the actual owner will hold the dogs. We have them on some type of sedation meds that were prescribed through a veterinarian, and the owner is able to help navigate the dog and, help maybe assure the dog with comfort and support while we groom the dog straight through. And I'm happy to say that it's a very successful outcome because it's not placing the dog in a grooming salon where they're sitting in a cage, stressed out for hours. It's a quick process, in and out, and hopefully without as much trauma to the dog as possible. So this is a solution that's worked really well for us, and I'm happy to say that this is the last thing that we're going to check off our list of Buddy's behaviors, because this is something that's resolved his issue with being groomed. So you can see why the potential adopters were hesitant to move forward at the beginning. There are a lot of complicated problems happening on this list, and we totally understood why they were hesitant to move forward, because snappy biting behavior is not a common behavior that people want to deal with and live with. But after the 7 or 8 months that he was in foster care and they were doing the training, and they began to see the diminishing, and eventually a lot of these behaviors go away completely, they were more confident and they had a better bond with Buddy, because it gave them hope, it gave them confidence to deal with the behaviors. And at this point, they moved forward with the adoption. They felt confident enough, and they were happy to see that the behaviors of the snappiness were diminishing, and he's now thriving, being loved, just living the life with this family, and we couldn't be happier for him. They have us as a support system, and we'll always be there for these guys. And I think that gives us so much peace and happiness ourselves to see these guys loved and thriving during this rehabilitation process. So the remainder of the video, we're going to show just some more pictures. And if anyone wants to support dogs like Buddy, we put a donation link in the description of the video. We welcome any donations because these dogs cost the rescue money with medical care, behavioral support. So we are so grateful to all of you for your support, and to everyone out there dealing with a dog with behavioral issues. Please know that there are solutions out there. Behavior does change, and we are so grateful to all of you who support these types of dogs, because we know the challenges that you face, and we want to make sure that you are given some type of hope that change does happen. Enjoy the rest of the video, and thank you so much for watching.
I'll be the one by your side through the good and the hard times, when we're laughing, when we're hurting. I'll be the one that you